Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Reynaldo Soriano from Tradictiv. If you have any questions or queries, please feel free to email me at reynaldo@tradictiv.com. Um, Once again, my name is Reynaldo Soriano, and my email address is at reynaldo@tradictiv.com. If you have any questions or queries, please make sure to read the following disclaimer that the following videos or clips demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Traddictiv provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our product. All right, so first question that I would like to ask you in terms of your, as a form of exercise, if you haven't gotten a pen or a paper, I want you to grab a piece of pen and paper, and I want you to write down in some form of self-reflection of the things you did well this week in trading. What are the things that you did well in trading? All right, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. If you haven't gotten a piece of pen or paper, please go get one. And then I want you to write down what are the things that you did well in your trading this week. What are the things that you did well in trading this week? All right, second question. In terms of your performance this week, I want you to rate your performance for this week. 10 being a perfect performance, 1 being the poorest performance. What is your performance this week? Out of 10, I want you to write down your performance this week. All right, great. Third question. I want you to write down what didn't work for you this week. What didn't work for you this week? What didn't work for you this week? Awesome. And then I want you to write down why didn't it work for you this week. So for example, if the methodology or the strategy that you used didn't work, why didn't it work for you? Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work for you this week? And then the next question would be, what emotion or emotions did you experience based on the things that didn't work for you this week? Did it cause some form of frustration? Did it cause some form of irritation? Did it cause some form of fear? Did it cause some form of greed? What would it be? What emotion did you feel, or emotions did you feel when things didn't work out for you this week? And you have any questions, please feel free to type it in to the chat box, and I'm more than happy to answer any form of questions that you may have. And then once you've written what emotions that you felt and what didn't work for you, the next question that you're gonna ask yourself would be, what necessary steps could you take on as part of your plan this week to put into your plan for next week, so you're not going to have the same experience next week? So once again, what action steps or necessary processes, step-by-step process that you have to do in order for you not to feel the same feelings that you experienced this week for next week? What necessary steps do you have to take in order for you not to feel those negative emotions as a part of your action plan or action steps for next week? Okay, nice. If you'd like to share, please feel free to type it in the chat box. I'm more than happy to and then basically answer necessary questions that you may have. All right, let's discuss about the markets here for a second. And we'll deal about negative emotions in terms of irritation, frustration, or whatnot, right? So as you can see fit here, there is an empty space. So what is this empty space? This empty space is the future that doesn't exist, So let me put this, I'll change this to yellow. So you see here that there's a future that doesn't exist. Which creates uncertainty. And where there's uncertainty, there's always going to be fear. So fear, uncertainty, creates fear. And so when you're in a state of fear, there are only basically three things that a human being will basically do, which every human being will do. Either number one, you will fight it. In other words, you will take responsibility with your trades if you've entered a trade. Two, you will hide if you are in the trade and take no responsibility, and so you will just leave your trade hoping it will go back up. Three, you will fly, or you're going to run away, that even prior to trading, you're not going to enter the trade. So in other words, you're going to sit on the sidelines, and traders who will sit on the sidelines will always going to be right, because if they didn't enter and it goes against them, they will say to themselves, I knew it, see, I didn't go in, luckily I didn't go in, or else I would have lost. Or if they didn't answer and it went to the direction based on where they want it to be, their reasoning would still be, oh, look, it went up, I was right, so if I did pay in the trade, I know I was right. Dang it. So these are basically the three components of fear. Either you fight it, you will fly away, or you will hide. Now, if you basically enter the trade and you're in a state of confidence and you followed every single step in your trading plan but didn't go your way, then if you're being objective with no emotion and no ego, then it is what it is. You accept it, then you can move on basically from there. On the other hand, if you are not accepting whatever result is going to be, then this is the reasoning why, okay? It is because of expectation. So, when trading, it is imperative to accept whatever result it's going to be once you have entered your position. Okay. Let me put it through there. If not, then your negative emotion of irritation and regret is based on expectation. So, what is expectation? Expectation is a subjective emotional response based on the things that we want, things what you want. Expectation has already been basically set ever since you were born, basically through child even in childbirth. Because if you see a baby, they can't basically speak. All they can do is basically cry, and then when they cry, either they're crying through hunger, they're crying because they're wet, they're crying because they're not feeling well. So all these three types will be dictated upon a response to the mother or to the father. That's why they have three different types of cries, and that's the only way they're going to communicate. And when they're crying, the expectation is already set in place. I expected to be fed. I expected to be changed. I expected to be well, feel better, right? So you have to look after me, basically. Why? Because the baby is dependent within the parents at the very beginning, until they will find a way to be less independent, and then they'll go basically their own way once they start to learn how to walk, to talk, and they go to school, and the independency now starts to happen once they grow older. But because of that habitual practice that has already been set on a subconscious level, that level of expectation is always going to be there, and hence that's why when you're trading and you don't even realize that if it goes against you and your expectation of winning or to make money is not being met, then you have this 2-year-old behavioral pattern from a subconscious level creating a tantrum, and it's not going your way. And that's basically what happens. Man, it's not going my way, and then you will justify why it's not going your way. Hey, I want to win. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's not, it's not me. The problem is the system. And so some people will play the victim mentality to blame something because it didn't work based on the level expectation. Now, at the end of the day, nobody knows where the direction of price is going to be, especially in a retail perspective. Not unless you're an institution and you have all the pieces of information necessary and you basically buy or sell the price, or you're a market maker that creates the price, then you are basically an advantage. Then it's a different story because you know where it is. Other than that, if you're a retail trader, anticipating the movement and you're being subjective using your own cognitive bias simply means your own level of perception, because you want to make money or you want to win based on your own level of expectation, then simply you're screwed. And this is where negative emotions of irritation will happen, negative emotions of stress will happen, negative emotions of regret, anger, frustration is going to happen. Why? Because of the level of expectation. Now, if you don't have a level of expectation and you're just being objective through reaction, then it is what it is. What do we mean by that? It simply means that, I'll give you here as an example, it's in an uptrend, and say for argument's sake, you are buying here an area of demand because the pieces of data that's being given to you, the potentiality will continue, is highly probable. However, news is bound to happen. Plus, currently Biden is, I believe, going to be inaugurated, or he's going to speak or whatnot. There's going to be some form of event. Then, if the price doesn't go to the direction based on the forecast that you have dictated for yourself, and it goes the other way, then when you are reacting to the price, you will close the position and you will go short with it. Now, if you are in a space of expectation and you're expecting that the price will go up based on your own cognitive bias and it goes the other way, then what emotions do you think you'll be feeling right now? frustration, fear, irritation, stress, and the like. Because you're now in a fear mode, hoping that the price will go to the way that you want it to be. Right? So these are the things that you will need to be aware. So it is mainly more the awareness. So what is now the solution? The solution is to be aware, to have mindfulness when trading. That when you're in that state of fear and it's nothing, or it's not going to the way that you want it to be, then you will know exactly basically what to do from there. With a condition too, though, that you're also accepting everything there and then. Because at the end of the day, the market doesn't care that you do exist. It doesn't know that you do exist, and the market doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about me. It only cares about itself. Now, when you're trading the markets, once you start trading, you're in a relationship with the markets. And when you're in a relationship with the markets, there's a level of expectation in terms of agreement that you're expecting from the market. And that agreement is that it's going to give you money. The market doesn't know, though, that you're in a relationship with it. So in other words, you are in a relationship within yourself, basically. At the bottom line is you are in a relationship with yourself, no matter what. Even with, the only difference with this in terms of relationship with, say, a loved one or with someone else is that there's always going to be some form of an agreement between two people. And when you are in agreeance, then there is a relationship. The markets, on the other hand, doesn't know that. You do know, and therefore, you need to know your agreements within yourself. And what are these agreements? These agreements are your set values and principles that are important to you in relation to trading. For example, the value and principle of discipline, the value and principle of honesty of oneself, the value and principle of responsibility, the value and principle of acceptance, that when you are entering the trade and you put in a stop loss, the question is, are you okay with that stop loss? And if you're not okay with it, then your value and principle of honesty and integrity is not in it. How often do people will say that I'm okay to lose $100, I'm okay to lose $1,000, I'm okay to lose $500 to gain 200, 300, 1,000, 2,000. But when it goes against them and they've lost it, there's a feeling of resentment. There's a feeling of bitterness inside. And the reason is because they're not being honest to themselves. Because if you were at the very beginning in the first place, then there's no level of expectation. It is what it is. Because you're okay with it. That if you are really honest with your stop loss, then there's no negative emotion. You can move forward from there. Unfortunately, a few people who are asleep and not aware of it simply will have that feeling, and some of them will play the victim and start to blame others. Excuse me, and not taking full responsibility of one's own action. And once you start taking for full responsibility of your own actions, guess what? things becomes clearer, becomes more better. And that's now it also now means that you know thyself because you're taking full responsibility. And these are based on your set of your own values and principles that you agreed within yourself as a form of a relationship with oneself. Worthiness, abundance, and so forth. So within these agreements that you set for yourself are also in connection with whatever belief systems that you may have as a trader. And these belief systems are either supporting you, that if you are in agreement with your values and principles, then you're now dealing with your true self, which part of your belief system that creates in terms of your persona, your personality of who you are as an individual. Number two, that if you are not in agreement with yourself, and mainly your false self is controlling you, and this is where the spiral motion starts to basically happen. From discomfort to stress to depression to giving up, basically. That creates a lack of motivation, lack of energy. Okay, so what is the solution basically from here on forwards? The solution is also to find the root causes of your limiting beliefs. Mind you, soon we're going to have a trading workshop more on the trading psychology, and we're going to discuss more based on this, your beliefs, your values, your needs, what's really happening, the root causes, in order for you to have the negative result or the inconsistency in your trading. If you're very consistent, then there's something right in between your 6 inches between your ears. But if not, if you're having a lot of challenges, which in trading, 98% of the success rate in terms of your results is being driven through your mindset. 2%, 1% is through your physical conditioning, and 1% is technical analysis. Technical analysis, and a lot of people think that in order to be a consistent, profitable trader is through having a good trading system. It doesn't matter what trading system you use. In my opinion, in every trading system, there's always going to be a 100% success rate at the point of entry. It is more of how you will deal with the negative emotion or the during component reacting to what's happening there and then. And this is where everybody will have different results in the end. And I guarantee you that even if there's 100 people in the room and we're going to enter at one particular price point, and the result is going to be different. Why? Because of the 6 inches between one's ear, because of beliefs, and everybody will have their own perception based on their internal beliefs. Mind you, your reality is being created from your own personal reality. So this personal reality that is being created is based on your own cognitive bias of perception. One's fear is so real, however, it is not real to another person. Why? Because everything around you is simply just an illusion based on the stories or the narrative that you basically create for yourself. It's actually pretty cool when you really think about it. And then people say, well, what do you mean? Well, life has no meaning. There's only life, or life has no meaning unless you put meaning into it, basically. That's the bottom line. Likewise with your trading. This has no meaning unless you put meaning into it. But you want to trade objectively, or you want to trade subjectively? You want to trade with the professionals, or you want to say professionals in terms of institutions, or you want to trade and be part like the rest of the retailers who trade the markets based on them, because there's only two players of the game. Yes, there's a buyer, there's a seller, but who are these buyers, who are these sellers? To be with the institution is by observing what these institutions are doing. Other than that, if you want to be part of the game and you are a retail trader thinking that you will beat the market, then guess what? The chances and odds that you're not going to win against the professionals are very slim. On top of that, you have your mindset that is controlling you, that will create whatever result that you may have. And this, in terms of whatever discussion that we were having, could be also that you might have some issues or challenges or problems with money. You know, depending as well on your belief system with money. Because if you have a very bad experience with money, even if you're winning, you're going to give it back. Why? Because you don't like money. From a subconscious level, by the way. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we can basically discuss this group coaching, and it's actually very challenging to discuss this here sometimes on YouTube, because this type of work or classes are mainly based more on a one-on-one perspective, where it can be more dynamic. So, but nevertheless, every within this class, in terms of the format, would be what are your challenges, and then we discuss these challenges of yours, and we find the solution, we'll find the root causes, and on top of that is to create a step-by-step process as part of your trading plan in order for you not to do it again for the following week. So by you getting into that motion, and you can create or you can find a solution, I guarantee you, it's a big G word, that you will find the consistency then, and especially if you have found what the root cause is going to be. To find the root causes is also having that awareness of oneself. Okay, so but nevertheless, we're gonna have a workshop that's gonna come pretty soon, and we're going to discuss more about your values, your principles, your beliefs, and see what are the root causes or what's really causing it, and then having these classes as a form of what's the word I'm looking for? Guidance in terms of your trading. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. Hope you learned something today. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me once again at Reynaldo@traddictiv.com. Reynaldo@traddictiv.com. You can also book a coaching session with me, and here's the website, www.tradewithufos.com/Reynaldo. And whatever, if there's going to be some form of challenges with the trading system of your end result, and you need to know more in terms of the technical aspect, then please make sure to attend the other courses or classes, basically, that we do offer, that we do have, and we have really great educators that will be able to help you out. All right, thank you so much for listening. Take care until next time. Happy trading. Bye now.